Imagine a world without electric light. A world where the setting of the sun was not just an end to the day, but a profound transformation of life itself. Picture a medieval village nestled in a valley as the last rays of golden light retreat behind the distant mountains. The vibrant colors of day fade into a deep, velvety blue. The sounds of the blacksmith's hammer, the chatter in the market, the laughter of children playing in the fields, all of it begins to soften, to dissolve into the coming night. In this world, the night was a different realm, a realm of quiet, of shadow, of stillness. For us, here in America, night is just another version of day. We flip a switch, and our homes are flooded with light. Our cities glow, painting the sky with an orange haze that obscures the stars. Our screens pulse with endless information, endless entertainment. We have conquered the night, or so we believe. But what have we lost in this conquest? Let's journey back to that medieval evening. As dusk settles, a hush falls over the land. The farmer guides his weary ox back to the barn. The baker puts out the last embers in his oven. Families gather inside their small, timber-framed homes. A single candle is lit, its small, flickering flame casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. This tiny light is a precious beacon, a fragile defense against a vast and enveloping darkness. Outside, the world belongs to the night. The wind whispers through the thatch of the roofs. An owl calls from the deep woods. The silence is not empty, it's alive. It's a silence that encourages listening, a quiet that invites introspection. In the castle on the hill, the great hall is lit by a few torches, their flames reflecting in the armor of the guards standing silent watch on the battlements. They gaze out into the darkness, not with fear, but with a respectful awareness. They know the night has its own rules, its own ancient rhythm. Contrast this with our modern nights. The constant hum of the refrigerator, the distant wail of a siren, the glow of a phone screen next to our pillow. Our senses are never truly at rest. We are always connected, always stimulated, always on. We have traded the deep, restorative quiet of the natural night for a perpetual, low-level hum of artificial existence. Our bodies and minds evolved over millennia to align with the cycles of sun and moon, are now in a constant state of confusion. But tonight, let's leave that world behind. Tonight, we can reclaim a piece of that ancient peace. Let's allow ourselves to unplug from the endless stream of light and sound. Let your mind drift back to that medieval village. Feel the cool night air on your skin as you stand by an open window. The scent of wood smoke and damp earth hangs in the air. The only light is the soft, gentle glow of the moon, bathing the landscape in a silvery sheen. There is no pressure to do anything, to be anywhere. The day's work is done. The worries and struggles are set aside with the setting sun. This time is for rest. It is for the body to heal, for the mind to quiet, for the soul to find its anchor in the deep, silent waters of sleep. The people in that village understood this instinctively. Sleep wasn't a luxury. It was a sacred ritual, a necessary surrender to the natural order of the world. Now, bring that feeling of profound peace into your own space. Let the constant chatter of your mind begin to fade, just like the sounds of the village at dusk. Your bed is your sanctuary, your safe harbor, just as those small homes were a refuge from the vast, dark night. As you settle into your bed, feel the comfort of the blankets around you. Imagine them as a warm, protective embrace. Your breathing begins to slow, to deepen. With each breath out, you release a little more of the day. You release the expectations, the deadlines, the noise. With each breath in, you draw in the quiet, the stillness, the peace of that ancient night. There are no screens here, no notifications demanding your attention. There is only the soft darkness, the gentle rhythm of your own breath, and the feeling of complete and total safety. Your body knows what to do. It remembers this rhythm, even if your conscious mind has forgotten. It's a deep, ancestral memory of rest, of renewal, of letting go. Feel a wave of relaxation begin at the tips of your toes. A gentle, warming sensation that slowly travels up through your feet, your ankles, your calves. It soothes every muscle, releasing any tension it finds. The wave moves up into your thighs, your hips, loosening, softening, letting go. You feel your lower body becoming heavy, grounded, sinking comfortably into the mattress. This wave of calm continues its journey upward into your stomach, your chest. Your breathing is slow and steady now, like the gentle rise and fall of the tide. The wave flows into your back, melting away any knots or tightness. It moves across your shoulders, down your arms, all the way to your fingertips. Your hands are relaxed, your fingers are soft. Finally, the wave of relaxation reaches your neck and your head. It smooths the muscles in your jaw, your cheeks, your forehead. The tiny muscles around your eyes release. Your mind, once a bustling marketplace of thoughts, is now as quiet as that sleeping medieval village. Any stray thoughts that appear are like distant clouds drifting across the moonlit sky. You notice them, and then you let them drift away. You are floating now in a sea of tranquility. The world outside your window, with all its light and noise, fades into the background. It cannot reach you here. You are safe. You are at peace. You are ready for a deep, restorative sleep. A sleep that connects you to something timeless, something real. The kind of sleep that our ancestors knew. A sleep that doesn't just rest the body, but nourishes the soul. As you drift deeper and deeper, hold on to that image of the single, flickering candle. A small, warm light in the vast, peaceful darkness. It is a symbol of your own consciousness, a gentle flame that is now ready to dim, to rest, so that it can burn brightly again with the morning sun. The night is not an enemy to be conquered. It is a friend to be embraced. It is a gift, the gift of stillness, the gift of peace, the gift of deep, healing sleep. Allow yourself to receive this gift fully. Good night, sleep well. The last rays of the sun paint the sky in hues of orange and deep violet, casting long, stretching shadows across our little village. This is the golden hour, a time of gentle transition, when the day's work draws to a close and the quiet magic of the evening begins to unfold. Listen closely. Can you hear it? The distant, rhythmic clang of the blacksmith's hammer taking its final tired swings. The soft lowing of cattle being led back to the warmth of their barns. It's a symphony of a day well spent. All around, wooden shutters are being drawn, their familiar creak and thud a comforting signal that the world outside is being tucked in for the night. Children, their cheeks rosy from the crisping air, chased the last of the chickens into the coop, their laughter echoing through the cobblestone alleys. Smoke begins to curl from the stone chimneys, carrying the promise of warm meals and shared stories. The air, once filled with the buzz of activity, now hums with a softer, more peaceful energy. It's the collective sigh of a community settling in, a shared rhythm that has pulsed through this valley for generations. Inside the cottages, families gather around sturdy wooden tables. The hearty aroma of simmering stew, fresh baked bread, and wild herbs fills the air, a reward for the day's labor. Lanterns are lit, their golden glow pushing back the encroaching darkness and dancing upon the walls. Faces are illuminated by the soft light, tired but content. This is a time for connection, for sharing tales of the day a stubborn goat, a successful harvest, a funny mishap in the market square. The clatter of spoons against earthenware bowls is the only interruption to the flow of easy conversation. As the meal ends, everyone drifts towards the heart of the home, the hearth. A crackling fire roars to life, its flames a mesmerizing dance of red and gold. It throws playful shadows that leap and flicker across the room, turning familiar objects into mysterious shapes. The warmth seeps into weary bones, easing the aches of a long day. An elder might pick up a worn lute, its strings humming a tune as old as the hills themselves. A grandmother begins to spin wool, the rhythmic whir of the wheel a soothing lullaby. The village is breathing, a slow, deep, and peaceful breath. The worries of the world feel a million miles away, kept at bay by the simple, profound comfort of home, hearth, and kinship. Let's linger here, in this moment of perfect tranquility. Feel the warmth of the fire on your skin. Listen to the gentle crackle of the logs, and allow the peace of the village to wrap around you like a soft woolen blanket. As the fire burns lower, casting a soft ember glow, the stories begin to weave their spell. Tonight, let's journey to a place whispered about in hushed tones, a place that exists just beyond the veil of our world, the Whispering Glade. They say it's a clearing deep within the ancient woods, where the moonlight always seems to find its way through the dense canopy, bathing the ground in a silvery light. It's said the trees there are so old, their roots drink from the very heart of the world, and their leaves rustle not with the wind, but with the secrets of ages past. To find the Whispering Glade, one must not follow a map of ink and parchment, but a map of the heart. You must leave the well-trodden paths behind as the last sliver of the moon rises. The journey begins where the familiar scent of pine gives way to the sweet, heady fragrance of night-blooming jasmine and damp earth. The entrance is guarded not by gates, but by two ancient oak trees whose branches intertwine overhead, forming a perfect archway. As you pass beneath them, a profound silence descends. The usual night sounds of the foresty chirp of crickets, the hoot of an owl fall away, replaced by a stillness so complete you can hear your own heartbeat. Moss, thick and velvety, carpets the ground, muffling your footsteps. It glows with a faint, otherworldly phosphorescence, lighting your way forward. Deeper still, the path winds around giant moss-covered stones that seem to pulse with a gentle energy. And then you hear it. It starts as a faint murmur, a sound on the very edge of hearing, like 1,000 soft voices sighing at once. This is the whisper of the glade. The elders say it's the voices of the forest spirits, the memories of the trees themselves, sharing their ancient wisdom with those who have the patience to listen. Finally, you step into the clearing. It's more beautiful than any story could describe. The moonlight is so bright, it feels tangible, pooling on the ground like liquid silver. In the center of the glade stands a single, magnificent willow tree, its branches weeping all the way to the ground, creating a secluded sanctuary within. Its leaves are not green, but a translucent, shimmering white. Fireflies, larger and brighter than any you've ever seen, drift through the air like tiny, floating lanterns, their light pulsing in time with the gentle murmuring of the leaves. The air is thick with a calming magic. It smells of rain-soaked earth, blooming flowers, and something else, something ancient and unknowable. They say if you sit beneath the weeping willow and quiet your mind, truly listen without expectation, the whispers will become clear. They don't speak in words, but in feelings, images, and forgotten melodies. They might show you a vision of the forest 1,000 years ago, or share the feeling of a seed sprouting from the earth, or hum the tune of the stars as they wheel across the night sky. It's a place of healing and revelation. Those who visit the whispering glade return changed. A troubled heart finds peace. A confused mind finds clarity. The burdens they carried into the forest feel lighter, left behind among the glowing moss and shimmering leaves. The whispers remind them of their connection to the world, to the slow, patient, and powerful rhythms of nature. They leave not with answers, but with a deeper understanding, a sense of belonging to something vast and beautiful. Let's stay here for a while, under the silver willow. Close your eyes. Imagine the soft, glowing moss beneath you, the gentle sway of the shimmering leaves above. Hear the chorus of whispers, not as words, but as a soothing vibration that resonates deep within you. Feel the cool, magical air on your skin. Let the peace of this enchanted place wash over you, clearing your mind and calming your spirit. Let the fireflies dance in your imagination, each one a tiny spark of wonder and light. There is no need to strive or to understand, only to be present, to listen, and to feel the ancient magic of the whispering glade seeping into your soul. Now, as the moon begins its slow descent and the first hints of dawn touch the distant peaks, it's time to leave the glade. As you walk back through the archway of oaks, the familiar sounds of the forest slowly return, gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze, the distant call of an early morning bird. The phosphorescent moss fades, and your path is lit now by the soft, gray light of pre-dawn. You carry the peace of the glade with you. It's a quiet stillness in your heart, a clarity in your mind. The world seems brighter, the colors more vibrant. The scent of pine and damp earth feels like a welcome home. You return to the village just as the first roosters begin to crow, their calls heralding a new day. Smoke once again begins to rise from the chimneys, but this time it carries the scent of baking bread and morning porridge. The village is waking up. Shutters are thrown open, letting in the cool morning air. The sounds of a new day begin, the splash of water from the well, the cheerful greetings of neighbors, the bleating of a goat eager for its breakfast. But for you, everything is viewed through a new lens, the lens of the whispering glade. You see the magic not just in enchanted forests, but in the simple, everyday moments of life. The way the sunlight catches the dew on a spider's web, the warmth of a fresh loaf of bread, the genuine smile of a friend. The whispers of the glade taught you that peace isn't a place you visit, but a state you can cultivate within yourself. It's found in the quiet moments, in the deep breaths, in the connection to the world around you and the people you share it with. The magic wasn't just in the glade. The glade simply helped you see the magic that was already there, all around you, all the time. And so, as our story ends and a new day begins, carry that feeling with you. Allow the gentle rhythm of the village, the warmth of the hearth, and the wisdom of the whispers to guide you. Find your own glade in the quiet corners of your day. Thank you for joining me on this journey tonight. May your dreams be peaceful and your morning be bright. Don't forget to come back for more stories from our little corner of the world. Good night. When the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of dusky rose and deep indigo, a different kind of life begins to stir within the walls of a hearth-centered home. The world outside grows quiet, hushed by the coming night, but inside, a gentle warmth radiates from the heart of the house, the fireplace. The day's hurried pace melts away, replaced by a slower, more deliberate rhythm. The air fills with the subtle scent of wood smoke, and whatever simple, nourishing meal is simmering over the flames. This is a time not for distraction, but for connection. The blue light of screens is absent, and in its place, the flickering golden glow of the fire dances across the faces of the family gathered around. Imagine the scene. A pot of hearty soup bubbles gently, its aroma a comforting promise of the meal to come. The food is uncomplicated, made from wholesome ingredients, perhaps vegetables from the garden or bread baked that morning. Stories are told, not grand epics, but the small, meaningful tales of the day. A child might recount an adventure in the woods, a parent might share a quiet observation, or an elder might weave a story from their own childhood, connecting the generations in a seamless thread of shared history. The firelight softens every feature, encouraging honesty and warmth. There are no interruptions, just the crackle of the logs and the soft cadence of voices. After the meal, the evening deepens into a state of peaceful tranquility. The dishes are cleared away, but the family lingers by the hearth. This is a time for quiet contemplation, for prayer or meditation. For some, it's a moment to offer gratitude for the day's blessings, for the food, the warmth, the company. The prayers are simple, spoken from the heart, a quiet acknowledgement of a force greater than oneself. The fire seems to listen, its flames leaping and swaying in a silent, reverent dance. In this sacred space, anxieties fade, and a sense of profound peace settles over the household. The world shrinks to the size of this room, to this circle of loved ones, held together by the gentle, mesmerizing glow. As the embers begin to cool, thoughts turn to sleep. The sleeping arrangements are often communal, fostering a sense of security and togetherness. Children might sleep in beds near their parents, or perhaps everyone gathers in one large room, their beds arranged like a cozy den. The warmth from the dying fire keeps the chill of the night at bay. Before sleep finally comes, another story might be told, a final lullaby sung. The storyteller's voice is low and soothing, a gentle current carrying the listeners towards the shores of dreamland. The shadows on the walls grow long and soft, and the last of the fire's light casts a warm, protective glow. In this simple existence, the night is not something to be feared or conquered with artificial light, but a natural and welcome part of life's cycle. The darkness outside makes the light inside seem all the brighter, all the more precious. Each night is a gentle reminder of what truly matters: the warmth of a fire, the nourishment of simple food, the power of a shared story, and the deep, abiding comfort of family. The glow of the hearth is more than just light. It's the visible manifestation of love, security, and belonging. It's a beacon that guides the family through the darkness, ensuring they wake to the new day refreshed and reconnected. This way of life, centered around the simple, ancient rhythm of fire and family, offers a profound contrast to our modern, fast-paced world. It speaks to a deep, instinctual longing within us for simplicity and genuine connection. We are often so busy, so plugged in, that we forget the quiet magic that can be found in the gathering dark. We fill our evenings with noise and artificial light, pushing away the stillness that allows for reflection and true intimacy, and lit a candle, or even better, a fire. The experience of sitting by a fire is primal. It taps into something ancient within our DNA. It was where we cooked our food, shared our knowledge, and built our communities. The mesmerizing dance of the flames has a naturally calming effect on the human mind. It can lower blood pressure, reduce stress, and promote a state of relaxed awareness. It's a form of natural therapy, a remedy for the overstimulated modern soul. Think about the stories that have been told around fires throughout human history. These were not just idle entertainment. They were the threads that wove the fabric of culture. They were how history was passed down, how morals were taught, and how a sense of collective identity was forged. In a world saturated with fleeting digital content, the act of telling and listening to a story face to face with no distractions is a radical act of connection. It requires presence, attention, and empathy. It builds bridges between minds and hearts in a way that no text message or social media post ever can. And what of prayer or quiet reflection? In the stillness of a firelit room, it's easier to hear the quiet voice within. The constant chatter of the world fades away, and we can connect with our own thoughts, our own feelings, our own spirituality. Perhaps we can't all live in a rustic cabin with a grand stone hearth, but we can all find ways to bring a little of that hearth-centered magic into our own lives. It could be gathering in the living room to read a book aloud, or taking turns telling stories about our day. It could be bundling up and sitting around a small fire pit in the backyard, watching the stars appear one by one. The goal is not to reject modernity, but to consciously carve out moments of simplicity, connection, and tranquility within it. It's about rediscovering the joy of being present with the people we love in a space that feels warm, safe, and sacred. It's about remembering that the most profound experiences in life are often the simplest ones. The warmth of a fire, the taste of good food, the sound of a loved one's voice, the peace of a quiet night. These are the things that truly nourish the soul. Thank you for watching. If this reflection resonated with you, consider subscribing for more journeys into a simpler, more connected way of living. Have you ever wondered what happens inside a great stone castle after the sun goes down? The world outside falls silent, but within those towering walls, a different life begins. The boisterous energy of the day, with its clanging blacksmiths, bustling courtyards, and shouting merchants, fades away. It's replaced by something else, something deeper and more mysterious. The very stones seem to change, their sun-bleached gray surfaces absorbing the deep blues and purples of twilight. They transform from a symbol of power and defense into a vast, shadowy labyrinth of secrets and whispers. The mood shifts entirely. The castle, once a beacon of order, becomes a place of quiet contemplation and hidden movements, a world lit only by the flickering dance of flames. Imagine standing high on the battlements. The wind, which was just a playful breeze during the day, now whispers with a colder, more ancient voice as it snakes through the crenellations. Below, the world has been swallowed by darkness, but here on the walls, a lonely vigil begins. Guards, wrapped tightly in their cloaks, begin their patrols. The rhythmic crunch of their boots on the stone walkway is a lonely, reassuring sound. They carry torches, and the flames paint long, dancing shadows that twist and writhe like living things. Each man is a tiny island of light in an ocean of black, his face illuminated in brief, dramatic flashes of orange and red. They pass each other with a quiet nod, a shared understanding in their eyes. They aren't just watching for enemies outside. They are the keepers of the castle's nocturnal soul, the silent guardians of the sleeping world within. Down in the great hall, the scene is different, but no less transformed. The raucous feasts of midday are gone. Now, only a handful of high-ranking nobles might be dining, their conversation a low murmur that barely disturbs the cavernous space. The long tables, once groaning with food and drink, are mostly empty, their polished surfaces reflecting the soft glow of candlelight from ornate candelabras. Every sound is magnified. The gentle clink of a silver spoon against a porcelain plate, the soft pour of wine into a goblet, even the rustle of a silken sleevet, all echoes through the hall, reaching up to the high vaulted ceilings where unseen tapestries stir in the drafts. The air is thick with the scent of beeswax, roasted herbs, and old wood. It feels less like a meal and more like a quiet, solemn ritual. And then there are the endless, echoing corridors. During the day, they are mere passageways, filled with servants hurrying on their errands. But at night, they become something more. They are veins of darkness, connecting the heart of the castle to its most hidden chambers. A single torch, carried by a lone figure, can only illuminate a few feet ahead, leaving the rest to your imagination. Every archway could lead to a forgotten story. Every closed door could hide a secret. The portraits of ancestors lining the walls seem to watch you as you pass, their painted eyes following your light. The silence here is profound, broken only by the sound of your own footsteps and the distant, mournful howl of the wind outside. This is the castle at its most intimate, stripped bare of its daytime pretense, revealing its true, ancient, and slightly haunting character. This nightly transformation isn't just a change in light and sound. It's a fundamental shift in the castle's very being. The lifeblood of the fortress changes its rhythm. The collective, communal life of the day gives way to the individual and the introspective. A servant girl might be sneaking a quiet moment to gaze at the stars from a secluded window. A scholar might be hunched over a rare manuscript in the library, the only sound the scratching of his quill on parchment. A knight might be in the chapel, the cool stone floor beneath his knees, his prayers a silent conversation in the hallowed dark. Each person is enveloped in their own small world, their thoughts amplified by the surrounding stillness. The castle becomes a collection of solitary moments, a mosaic of quiet lives playing out in the shadows. Let's explore the kitchens, the bustling heart of the castle during the day. Now, they are almost silent. The great fires in the hearths have been banked, glowing like sleeping dragons. The air, once thick with the smoke and steam of a dozen different dishes, now carries the faint, sweet scent of cooling bread and lingering spices. A few scullery maids might be working late, their movements slow and deliberate as they scrub the last of the great copper pots. Their quiet chatter is a soft counterpoint to the immense silence of the stone rooms around them. The shadows here are deep, hiding rows of hanging utensils and sides of cured meat, turning the familiar workspace into a mysterious landscape. It's a place of rest, recharging for the frenzy that will begin again at dawn. Now, let's ascend to the solar, the private chambers of the Lord and Lady. Here, the atmosphere is one of refined tranquility. A fire crackles warmly in a grand fireplace, its light playing across rich tapestries and carved wooden furniture. Perhaps the lady of the castle sits by the fire, her needlework idle in her lap, as she listens to a minstrel play a soft, melancholic tune on a lute. The music is not for performance or entertainment, but for contemplation. It weaves through the room, a thread of beauty in the quiet night. The Lord might be at his desk, reviewing ledgers or sealing letters with wax, the cares of his domain weighing on him even in this private sanctuary. Their world has shrunk to the size of this room, a pocket of warmth and light against the vast, cold stone of their fortress. And what of the dungeons and cellars deep below? These places, already deprived of sunlight, become even more oppressive at night. The darkness here is absolute, a heavy physical presence. The air is damp and cold, carrying the earthy smell of wet stone and something older, something of despair. If there are prisoners, their existence is marked only by the drip of water, the scuttling of unseen creatures, and the distant, muffled sounds from the world above. The jailer's nightly round, his keys jangling, his torch casting monstrous shadows, is the only event that punctuates the endless black. It's a stark reminder that the castle is not just a home and a fortress, but also a place of judgment and power, its foundations rooted in a darker reality. But even in the deepest dark, there is life. Let's not forget the castle's other inhabitants, the animals in the stables. Horses shift and snort in their sleep, their dreams, perhaps, of galloping across open fields. The hounds in the kennels twitch and whine softly, chasing phantom rabbits. And throughout the castle, cats move like liquid shadows, their silent paws taking them on secret patrols of their own. They are the true masters of the nocturnal castle, navigating its hidden paths with an effortless grace, their green eyes glowing like embers in the dark. They see the things that humans miss, the tiny movements in the shadows, the secrets held by the ancient stones. As the night deepens and the moon climbs to its highest point, the castle seems to hold its breath. This is the witching hour, when the veil between worlds is said to be at its thinnest. The old stories and legends that are dismissed in the bright light of day feel suddenly, undeniably real. The tale of the spectral lady who wanders the West Tower, the whispers of treasure hidden behind a loose stone. In the crypt, the legend of the phantom knight who still guards the main gate hall. These stories come alive in the imagination. The castle becomes a bridge to the past, its stones saturated with the memories of everyone who has ever lived and died within them. You can almost hear their voices in the sighing of the wind, almost see their faces in the shifting firelight. The castle at midnight is not just a building, it is a living history, a vessel of 1,000 tales waiting to be told. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the night. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the past, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more explorations. Have you ever wondered what the night sounded like long before the constant hum of our modern world? Before the drone of traffic, the buzz of refrigerators, and the glow of screens filled our senses. Let's take a journey back, just for a moment, to a time when the night spoke a different language. Imagine standing on a gentle hill, the world bathed in the soft, silver light of a full moon. The air is cool and crisp on your skin. Close your eyes and listen. What do you hear? First, the wind. It's not just a sound, it's a presence. It whispers through the tall grasses, a soft, rustling sigh that rises and falls like the world itself is breathing. It weaves through the leaves of ancient oak trees, creating a delicate, shifting melody, 1,000 tiny shivers in the darkness. Each gust carries a story from miles away, a scent of pine from the distant forest, or the cool promise of rain on the horizon. And beneath the wind's song, other voices emerge. Far off, a lone wolf lets out a long, mournful cry. It's not a sound of aggression, but one of communication, a call that echoes across the valleys, answered by another, and then another, weaving a network of sound across the vast, dark landscape. It's a reminder of the wildness that breathes just beyond the edges of our understanding, a sound that is both haunting and beautiful, a vital part of the night's ancient symphony. From a village nestled in the valley below, another sound drifts up, faint but clear, the gentle, metallic chime of a distant bell from a church tower, marking the passage of time. It's a sound of community, of human presence, but it doesn't intrude. It blends with the natural world, a soft, resonant tone that reassures you that you are not entirely alone in this great, dark stillness. And closer, from the small wooden cottage behind you, you hear the subtle creaks and groans of the structure itself. The old wood settles, expanding and contracting with the night's chill. It's a comforting sound, the house groaning softly like a sleeping giant. It speaks of shelter, of warmth, of a safe haven in the immense, moonlit countryside. This was the world's original soundtrack, a world of wind and wood, of distant calls and quiet chimes, a world where silence wasn't empty, but filled with a rich and subtle music. This richness, this deep connection to the sounds of the natural world, is something we've largely lost. Our modern lives are a constant barrage of noise, a cacophony that drowns out the whispers of the earth. We've become so accustomed to the hum of electricity, the roar of engines, and the digital chatter of our devices that we've forgotten what true quiet feels like. We've forgotten how to listen. But what if we could reclaim a piece of that quiet? What if we could learn to tune out the noise and tune into the subtle frequencies of the world around us, and more importantly, the world within us? This isn't about escaping reality. It's about enriching it. It's about finding the calm in the chaos, the peace in the pandemonium. Let's start by simply noticing. The next time you step outside at night, pause for a moment. Try to listen past the familiar noises of your neighborhood. Can you hear the rustle of leaves in a nearby tree, the chirp of a late-night cricket, the gentle hum that the world makes when it finally settles down? These sounds have always been there, waiting patiently beneath the surface of our awareness. This practice of deep listening can be a powerful form of meditation. It anchors us in the present moment. When we focus our attention on the sound of our own breath, the rise and fall of our chest, we create a sanctuary within ourselves. The worries of the day, the endless to-do lists, the anxieties about the future, they begin to fade into the background. They don't disappear, but their power over us diminishes. Think of it like tuning a radio. Our minds are often stuck on a noisy, static-filled station, broadcasting our fears and stresses on a loop. By consciously choosing to listen to something else, the wind, a bird, our own heartbeat, we are changing the channel. We are choosing to tune into a frequency of calm and presence. This isn't always easy. Our minds are conditioned to be busy, to jump from one thought to the next. The first few times you try to simply sit and listen, you might find your mind rebelling. It will throw distractions at you, remind you of things you need to do, or create imaginary scenarios. That's okay. That's normal. The goal isn't to have a perfectly empty mind. The goal is to gently guide your attention back, again and again, to the anchor of sound. You can practice this anywhere. Waiting in line at the grocery store, tune out the beeps and chatter, and listen to the hum of the freezers. Walking to your car, listen to the sound of your own footsteps on the pavement. These small moments of mindful listening can accumulate, creating a foundation of calm that you can carry with you throughout your day. As you get better at listening to the world outside, you'll also become better at listening to the world inside. You'll start to notice the subtle shifts in your own emotional landscape. You'll recognize the first stirrings of anxiety or the gentle pull of sadness, not as overwhelming waves, but as quiet signals. And by noticing them early, you can respond with kindness and care, rather than reacting with fear or avoidance. This inner listening is a form of self-compassion. It's about acknowledging your feelings without judgment. It's about giving yourself the same gentle attention that you give to the sound of the wind in the trees. You are as much a part of nature as that wind, and your inner world is just as worthy of being heard. Let's return to that moonlit hill. Feel the calm that comes from being a small, quiet part of a vast, living world. The symphony of the night isn't just happening around you, it's happening within you. Your own breath is the rhythm, your heartbeat, the steady drum. The thoughts that drift through your mind are like clouds passing across the moon. You are not your thoughts. You are the sky that holds them. This state of peaceful awareness is your natural inheritance. It's the quiet space that existed before the noise, and it's still there, waiting for you to return. You don't need to go on a retreat or move to the countryside to find it. You can find it right here, right now, by simply closing your eyes and listening. So tonight, I invite you to conduct a small experiment. Find a quiet place, turn off the screens, and just listen. Listen to the sounds of your home settling. Listen to the distant city hum. Listen to the silence between the sounds. Most importantly, listen to yourself. Listen to the gentle rhythm of your own being. Let the ancient music of the night soothe your soul and remind you of the profound peace that is always available, just a single, quiet breath away. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more moments of calm.